Whakataro, ki kiuru, whakatau, ki tonga, ki maringi, ki uta, ki madru, he ake ane, ki ho, ki hoko, hoko, ki maori.
Moriora. Thank you, Bob.
Okay, apologies, we've had apologies from Deborah.
So
Would someone like to move that apology? Shane, Sophie, all those in favour, against carried. Is there any urgent general business?
I was going to ask if there was a late application that kind of came in. I guess more your discretion as chair, Bob. Around it was a team at Clearview who found out on Friday that they've got to fundraise. I think it's like $3,000 to get to Auckland by the end of the month to get to some finals for a STEM competition. So they could apply in the next round. But actually, if they don't get funding sooner, then they may not be able to get there. So it's kind of like.
I think that's part of a bigger discussion. Like, I mean, I think like now's the time to have it, but I think it is part of a bigger discussion of what this committee is, how this committee sees it in the future. Is that if anyone's late, either that we're going to look at them all individually, or we're going to say they're late and that's the end of it. So it's up to like both your opinions on how you think we should go, because I think it's part of a bigger story and we can't sort of be seen to favourite somebody else, you know. But if you've got any other opinions, Shane.
I have an opinion. It's the right one. It's just where it sits and what's possible, really, within the terms of reference that we've got. What's the discretion of this committee to be able to adjust? But I'm more mindful of the work that it creates, and probably sticking to the timeframes with a 50% or something like that. I know we're just looking at some of that a bit later on, but if it's the committee's responsibility is to serve the public in the best interests, then we should have some discretion around it potentially. But you're right, it's probably a discussion for something to come.
Yeah,
to the next meeting.
And the other thing I think that there seems to have been some confusion in this period.
Yeah.
So whether this comes into that sort of thing, that there is some confusion,
Transition.
and we can say, well, because we've changed things, we could put this one in, but we'd have to look in the future. So that's another way of looking at it.
Yeah. With this case, it wasn't that they were confused. It was simply that they didn't know
that's
what was expecting it.
Yeah.
And it's quite unfair of the competition, I think, to expect a group of year sevens to raise $3,000 in 2 weeks. But yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? It doesn't fit neatly anywhere in our terms of reference.
I guess it could under the ward discretionary one, but that's no longer exists, does it?
No.
If the ward discretionary or the council discretionary fund.
It's here.
So with the individuals and teams, we're asking that the closing date is kind of 2 days before we need to send the agenda to the committee.
Yeah.
So that's why we have the closing date, so that's then put on the public agenda and meeting all those requirements. So that's why we have the closing dates for those. But it's definitely at the discretion of the committee if they want to accept late applications.
Want to move something, Sophie, or do you want to leave it?
I would love to move that we consider their application, but obviously I'd need a secondary.
Okay.
So it's up to you guys, really.
We have a second.
Oh, I don't want to unfairly disadvantage anybody, but it's the guidelines are clear. So
yeah,
that's a discussion for further. It's an example of what we need to have a look at into the future. So I wouldn't second it because of the guidelines that we've currently got, but I do feel for the team and reassure them that we will look at it into the future for those short-term notice ones. Maybe there's a short-term fund or something, but it's going to open up a conversation for the next time.
Yeah. Okay. Are you happy with that?
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Confirm minutes of the 23rd of October. Someone like to. Oh, you'll do that, and I'll second it.
Yep.
All those in favour? Against, carried. Thank you. we're doing the individual teams fund, and is there any conflicts? And we'd like to confirm the financial statement. How much is in there, please? It's in,
Right, I'll bring it up.
Share that.
Be the agenda. Yeah.
Just have to share my screen now.
it's
Is it balance? Is that the balance? Oh, yeah.
Balance.
$37,000. $. Thank you. Would someone like to move we accept that for information, Sophie? And all those in favour, against carried. Thank you. Any correspondence at all? And correspondence, we'll consider the application of the three that we've got. There's one for you and Lewis, which the staff recommendation is what we've given for individuals. So would someone like to move that we accept the $200?
Yep.
And all those in favour, carried.
Right.
And the next one is Lincoln High, which is $500 was the accepted figure that we've been using. Would someone like to move that? Shane,
Oh.
Sophie, all those in favour, that's carried. Any conversation on any of these? And then the Hugo Rathel is nil because of our policy. And I checked through that and it's definitely in the policy.
Oh, yeah.
That we don't give more than once
Gotcha.
in a year, so
Thank you,
that's,
Bill.
Is any general business? Closing Karakia. Can you do it, please?
Yep.
Yeah, Emma here.
Vote,
Vote.
Kawatia, Kawatia, I, Kawatia.
Okay, we'll go on to officially into public excluded down.
Yeah.
Yep. So would someone like to move that we go into public excluded?
Ticky pick. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll second that. All those in favour, thank you.